Okay, we are officially recording, and I am excited to start up today because I have a great story that I want to start off with. Before we get into the training and everything, I want to tell you that this stuff that you've been learning, these things that we've been talking about, it actually works. So yesterday we talked about being in this receiving energy, right? We talked about like how to be open and how to put yourself in a physical stance to be receiving. Well, because it's much more on the forefront of my mind, I've been extra diligent about practicing all of this. And earlier this morning, I took my kids on a field trip. We went to the planetarium. I was part of our school today. And while we were there, my 4-year-old found a penny on the ground. And I was like, hey, Henry, you should pick that up. Like, it's a lucky penny. And I didn't think much of it. But I was like, oh, yeah, like, okay, we're receiving. Like, it's in lots of different things. And then we had to go to another store to get some stuff for the weekend. And while we were there, my 10-year-old daughter looked up at this older gentleman and just smiled at him. And people in the South are so awesome. They're so kind. So we started chatting with him for a little bit, and he was like, oh, I just love your smile. Just keep smiling. God's shining down on you, like all of these things. And he was just smiling and smiling at her as we were talking. And he was like, do you know what? Pick anything you want in the store. Like, it's on me. Just whatever you think your mom won't let you buy, like, just go pick something. And she was like, really? And so we got talking a little bit more, and she started looking around, and he was like, you know what? This is just going to take too long. He opens up his wallet and he hands my 10-year-old $100 bill and says, why don't you buy something for you and all of your brothers? You guys, I've been sitting for the last 2 days really focusing on being in this energy of receiving, and it comes in so many ways. Things just lined up. We were going to go to another store first and decided not to. Like, so many things lined up just because we've been in this space of receiving. So I want you to know that it works. It works in ways that you can't plan. It works because you are opening up your energy into this place of receiving. So I wanted to share with you because as I was driving home, I was like, oh, I'm so excited about all of this. Like, it didn't make any difference to me, but all of my kids, all 5 of them, got to pick out something that they were really excited about. Some of them got new pajamas, some of them got games. My oldest son got new suit coats and he is thrilled. Like, this space of receiving actually works when you are dedicated to practicing it and focused on opening up your energy. So I wanted to share with you. Feel free, if you guys want to turn on your cameras, you totally can. If you want to just sit and listen, that's great too. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing this screen and we will jump right in. All right, put down in the comments if you can see that. I want to make sure that you guys can see what I see. Let's come over here. This is what we're looking for. Okay, so welcome. This is day 3 of our subconscious connection challenge. I hope that by now you're starting to see how things can open up a little bit more and how you can start attracting the clients that you have been looking for. When you are in this place of connection and in alignment, it really does change so much. So we're going to jump in. Today, we are going to focus on getting yourself set up for success, just like we do every single day. Today, I want you to step into this place of surrender. Now, we don't have time to go into all of this right now, but there are 3 levels of consciousness. The highest level of consciousness that you can step into is a state of surrender, where you're no longer trying to control every little thing that's going on and just allow yourself to have things be the way that they are. So the other two is typically where we spend all of our time. Like I said, I don't have time to go into those, but the highest state that you can be in is this state of surrender. So that's where I want us to go today, is to be in the state of surrender. Surrender to the things that are coming to you, knowing that they are. To get into this state, first thing we have to do is learn to let go. Let go of control, let go of trying to force specific outcomes, and know that where you are is exactly where you need to be. Let go of trying to have everything work out so perfectly and working so hard for all of these things. When we learn to let go and really surrender, that puts us into a place where we can actually now start receiving. The second thing I want you to do today as we go through all of this is just listen. Listen to the little voices that are in your head. I have people, especially clients, tell me all the time, like, you make it sound like we're schizophrenic. And sometimes I am, because I have different voices in my head. And when I learn to listen to those voices and I separate them out and say, this one's not me, this one is me, this is trying to help me be better, this one is trying to pull me down. When I listen to those voices, it helps guide me and it opens up my intuition so I know what it is that I need to do. And so learning to listen to your gut, learning to listen to your heart, all of those are the little voices on the inside. When you step into this place of listening, that's what gets us into this state of surrender. And the last one to put you into this state that's going to help you be able to attract clients is to learn to lean in. So often when we learn something new or when something is coming into our space and it's new and different, we say like, I don't know if I want to do that. I have noticed today, especially because we're going to be talking about the spiritual side, there's so many people who shy away from the spiritual side because the religious side isn't the same. Or maybe you have a different spiritual belief than I do. I believe in God, but maybe you believe in something else. I have a dear, dear friend who is, she believes in Buddha. She's Buddhist. And we have conversations all the time. And we come to these places because we have this understanding that we're brought into each other's space for a specific reason. And we lean into that. And we actually learn a lot from one another. So today, as we're going through all of this, I want you to focus on letting go of expectations, learning to listen to your gut, listen to your heart, and then lean into that divine timing that is being presented. Lean into the things that maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable and know that you have the support that you need in order to be able to continue. So just a quick recap where we have been. We've been talking about this attraction model and how it gets us into state. And today we're going to pull all of this together. So we talked about the emotional side and how that all plays into the physical side. And you'll notice that the spiritual side plays into all of that together. They all work together in one whole. And that's what puts you into state. That's what puts you into flow. When you have these three pieces that all connect together, this is the tangible steps to get you into that place. So let's dive into the spiritual side. So when we are talking spiritual, I want to be very, very careful that we are not getting into religion, because there is a spiritual side outside of religion. And I am very, very accepting of all religions because I believe it brings us closer to this level of spirituality. And there's actually incredible neuroscience behind the spiritual side when you understand how they connect together. And this is the thing that I get really passionate about, because there's not a lot of people who connect the like tangible what's happening inside our body with the spiritual what's happening that you can't see. So there's been a lot of research that shows that when you are connected on a spiritual level, that could be through prayer, it could be through meditation, or it could just be getting yourself into this state, that it actually changes the way that your brain interacts. It changes the brain waves, they shift when you are in this place where you are now aligned. And so there's so many cool things. Another thing that happens when you are connected spiritually is the prefrontal cortex that sits right here behind your forehead. All of this is our like analytical, your critical thinking. This is your like logical side of the brain of like what is going on. It oftentimes is where we begin to overthink things like, oh, I don't know about this, and maybe I should do that. And all of that calms down and gets quiet when you are connected on a spiritual level. And so if you're really, really stressed, if you're really, really like, I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go, and I don't know if I should this one or that one. If you take just a minute and connect on a spiritual level, that allows you to quiet down your brain. Connect on the inside to the things that we can't see, that spirit that's inside of you. It creates this connection that opens up your intuition, where you are going to be able to start making those decisions that you need to, and it brings you to a greater awareness. And so when we can create this alignment between the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual, that is when magic really truly starts to happen. So this is kind of where we're going with the spiritual side. We're going to tie it into tangible things. I want to give you more tools today that you can use to help you be able to bring these things about. But I wanted to give you a high level view of where it is that we're going and how you can connect into this more divine state. All right. So as we move forward, we're going to talk first today about morning routines. Now, Ursula, I know this is something that you talked about, that this was your goal. This was something that you wanted to be working on. And so it actually works out perfectly, because how you begin your day has a huge impact on how you show up the rest of your day. And morning routines are something that can come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. Not everybody has the same morning routine because we are all different. We have different needs, we have different goals. And so I'm not one for cookie cutter, you need to be doing this and doing this and doing this. I believe that when you know how to tailor your morning routine to what it is that you need, it's going to change the way that you interact with the rest of your day. I used to say, if you can't fit it in the morning, fit it in any other time of day. And that's still good advice, because doing it is better than not doing it at all. But there are benefits to doing it in the morning, specifically this neurological connection, because your brain functions differently throughout the day. I don't know if you know, but it's very common knowledge that we go through sleep cycles, that we have time in REM and deep sleep, and we have light sleep, and we have all of these different levels, we'll say, to this cycle and how deeply you sleep. Your body is actually producing that same rhythm all day long. And so your body is performing higher at certain times of the day and not as high at other times of the day, which is typically why, like that 2-3 o'clock range, when people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. It's because you're at the bottom of a cycle and you just don't have as much energy. When you understand that, it changes the way that you interact with things like this. So in your morning routine, the first 20 minutes of the day, you have a theta brainwave. This is when you are more susceptible to your subconscious. You have more access to the things because your brain's not really quite awake yet. This is the state that people try to get into when they're doing yoga and meditations, and when we're trying to like clear our head and not have so many things going. That's what's happening in the first 20 minutes when you're awake. You don't have to do anything. That's a gift that's given to you every single day. And so when you understand that and you set up your morning routine where this is the time that you do visualizations. This is the time that you try to reprogram your brain. If you don't know how to do that, that's a lot of what we talk about at NeuroCoach Institute. But when you know how to reprogram your brain, you actually don't fall into the same traps that you did before, because we are creatures of habit. We do things habitually over and over. We talked about looping yesterday. All of that happens without you thinking about it. But if you can reprogram those thoughts, those behaviors, the first 20 minutes is the most ideal time for you to be able to do that. The next 20 minutes, so first 20 minutes, you are in a theta brainwave. The second set of 20 minutes, this is when you're in an alpha brainwave. So these alpha brainwaves start to increase. This is really ideal for you to be learning something new, taking in new information. When you can have this space of bringing in new information, you learn faster, you retain information longer because your brain is already set up to be coming in and starting something new or taking in that information. So your creativity in this 20-minute window is out of control. This is often the time when I'm like, what am I going to be working on? And what is it that I need to be doing? And all of these things. And this is the time when I'm setting intentions for my new week. What is it that I want to be creating and all of those kind of things. And this is more, it's not like the tactical. So on the first day, we talked about like having big goals and then break them down into milestones. This is not time to plan milestones. This is time to plan like, where do I want my life to go? What is it that I want to be doing? Do we want to be taking that vacation? All of those kind of things. That's what I'm planning in these 20 minutes, okay? Simply because your brain works better. Now, the last 20 minutes of this first hour of awake time is really where the neuroplasticity increases. So if you don't know what neuroplasticity is, that is when your brain is most susceptible to be able to create change. Scientists used to believe that once your brain is fully developed, usually in your your early 20s, they used to believe that once it's set, and you couldn't change neurological patterns. You couldn't change the way that you thought about things. But as they have done more research over the last 20, 30 years, they're starting to put together like, wait a minute, this neuroplasticity allows your brain to be able to neutralize old neural pathways. It allows you to be able to say, I actually don't like that person that I've been becoming. I want to be able to do something else. So this last 20 minutes is awesome for if you want to create a new habit, work on it in this 20-minute window. This is where we really work on rewiring beliefs, things that are a little bit more deeply rooted in us. So it's not like, oh, I had that thought, but these are deep beliefs that are held within us. This is the time that all of those change. So all of these things, can you do them other times during the day? Of course you can. And there are tools and things to help you be able to change the way that you think. However, in this first hour in your morning, it is like gold because your brain is more susceptible. It is more likely to bring them all in. So that's the last point on this neurological connection is the RAS, or the reticular activating system. Basically what that is the wall. It's the guard that says, nope, you get in, you don't get in. I don't like that. No, go away. Or like, oh yeah, that aligns with what we think. And it's the wall that goes up. That first hour that you're awake, the RAS is still sleeping. And so you are able to bring things in. Sadly, what happens in most of our mornings is it's like, well, the alarm went off and I'm already 10 minutes late. And so I've got to go and I got to get breakfast and I got to get out the door. Or I have 100 other things that I need to be doing. Or we sit and hit snooze over and over and over. And we end up not taking advantage of this gift that's given to you every single morning of being able to accept new things. And we waste that time not connecting, not doing the work that we need to on the inside to create the results that we want on the outside. All right. So this first hour really is a window of time where you naturally are in state. You just are because your brain works that way. And so if you're taking advantage of that first hour of your day, it really is setting up that frequency that you're going to carry throughout your whole day. If you are in a place of like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get out of bed, I'm so tired, and you're just hitting snooze, you're setting up the frequency that it's just not worth it to put in a little bit of extra effort to get out the door. You're setting out the signal that life is too hard, that I move really slow in life. All of those signals come because of what you choose to do in the first hour of your day. All right. So what you focus on is really going to create the energy that you carry throughout your day. Morning routines are so, so important. And I'll be the first to say, I have had times where I'm awesome at my morning routine, and other times that I fall off a little bit. I'm not perfect. We still have times that we need to course correct and adjust those things. But when you are in a place that you can project correct energy, this energy that's going to be magnetic and attracting, that's going to change the way that you see the way that others are drawn to you. And it all comes down to this morning routine. So I would love to know, is that something that you guys have done in the past? How are you at your morning routine? Is that something that you are working on? Is that something that you want to be better at? Okay. So morning routines are super, super critical. I actually have, since we're talking about it, I have a gift that I want to give to you. I told you yesterday that I love to give more than you anticipate. So for those of you who do all 3 days of their homework, I have just a short little course that I want to unlock for you. Everything's going to be in the Heartbeat community that you've been invited to and where you're going to be sharing your homework. But this course is called my Neuro Success course. And it is really all of the things that you need to do to create a success in your life. So we go through and we break down, how do you structure a morning routine? What is the neurology? What's the neuroscience behind it? So that you can have something that works for you. And unlike most things, it tells you, do this, do this, do this, do this. It gives you a 5-step program of like, okay, you need to be doing this, this, this. I actually don't believe in that because we are different. We are all in this space to try and figure out how our unique life fits in with the rest of the world. And so when you have a formula that this is how you create success, but there's also flexibility for you to be unique and you, that's what really creates this success. Okay, so Carrie Lynn, I've tried to get into a morning routine. Awesome. I'm so glad that it's making sense to you. It really does. It changes so many things when you understand the neurology behind it and what's happening on the inside. So a big part of what we do, not only in our morning routine, but how we talk about or how we talk to ourselves is huge. The words that you speak make a huge, huge difference. So we're going to talk about affirmations. Let's see, Ursula. I'm glad you're getting back on track. I want you to pay attention to why you suddenly stopped, because there was a shift in your neurology that had you stop. doing those things. So those times when it's like I was really good and now all of a sudden I'm not, there's been a change on the neurological side that is your brain's trying to tell you something. So look into that, like pay attention to that, because you'll learn lessons by doing a little bit of reflection on that time. So how we speak to ourselves. There are varying different ways that we can talk about affirmations. Some people love affirmations. Other people are like, this is a joke. It doesn't do anything for me. All of those things. And it typically is because we do affirmations wrong. There are 3 different kinds of affirmations. So I want to teach you how to do affirmations the right way. Because when you know how to use affirmations, it actually becomes more of a declaration where we talked about on the first day, like you have to declare what it is that you want. These become a declaration in your life when you know how to use them. If you've used affirmations in the past, sometimes it's like those are really powerful. And then you'll read the same affirmations another day and you're like, meh, doesn't do anything for me, right? It's because we actually need different affirmations at different times, especially women who are going through different parts of their cycle. Whether you actually have a period or not, I have a lot of clients who are beyond those ages and they say, well, like, I don't have a cycle anymore. You do. You naturally will cycle through things. You just don't have the physical manifestation of a cycle. And so when we understand how to create affirmations that are going to work for you in that time, they really truly become so, so powerful. The words that you speak to yourself, even the words that aren't heard from other people, changes the way that we can interact, and it affects the energy that is projecting out. So the first form of affirmations that we're going to talk about are these creative affirmations. These are your typical I am statements. I am beautiful. I am wealthy. I am incredible. I am all of these things. Whatever it is that you desire, you state it as this has already happened. And these work a lot of the time. This is the easiest way to form affirmations because you're declaring something, you're putting it in present tense. And it also helps you to be able to move forward. It's saying, I recognize this is where I am right now, but this is where I want to be. And so I'm going to have my energy draw me forward. They work a lot of times, but as soon as they stop working, then like we jump off the bandwagon and it's like, oh, I'm not going to do those anymore because it wasn't working. Well, on those days, maybe you need something a little bit different. So I want to go through and talk about the different kinds of affirmations so that you can really get into speaking the right words. So the second kind of affirmations that we're going to talk about are mending affirmations. There are times when the words that are spoken in an I am statement, we need to hear those, but we've just been through something that was extremely difficult. We have maybe you fell off and you weren't doing what you were supposed to be. So you're in the space of like beating yourself up already because your behavior wasn't in alignment with who you wanted to become. And so then you read your affirmations to try and like, I'm going to get back on, and you end up just beating yourself up even more. Mending affirmations can be the same kind of words. The intention behind them is very, very similar. It is still like who you are and what you want to do and the things you want to create, but they're a much softer tone. They're much more compassionate. They're much more honoring the things that have happened and knowing that these things aren't going to happen forever. That it's okay that we fell off a little bit. It's okay that we weren't perfect, that we need to get back on, but we know where we're going. And so they're just I mean, other than compassionate, they're really just these ones where someone is sitting next to you and being like, okay, I know that this is really hard. I know just the tone of them is so much softer and loving and accepting of like, we go through really hard things and that's okay. And so we're going to just let things be the way they are, and tomorrow's going to be a better day, all of those things. Being on this level where we need someone who is like, they're there, it's okay. We need to be that for ourselves more often. We need to say, it's okay that I wanted to have this business up and going a year and a half ago, but I didn't. And so we're going to do it now. And it's hard and it's scary. And I have a lot of evidence built up that this may not work. But I believe that it will. But I know that there's evidence that it's not, and we get in this place where we are so conflicted, and we need these affirmations to say, it's okay. This is another step in the journey, and we're learning along the way. And so we're going to allow things to align exactly where they needed to. This is where that leaning in to that divine timing, leaning in to the journey that you're experiencing right now is the exact experience that you need to have in order to be able to achieve that goal that you're trying to reach for. These mending affirmations are designed to connect us when we feel broken. Okay. Those aren't going to work all of the time, but you need to have them because anything else that you do when you're in this space, anything else that you try to do, you can try to do the creative affirmations. You can try to do the other one that I'm going to teach you here in just a second, but I guarantee it's not going to work. You need that compassionate side to bring you over that gap. Okay. And the last one is really this place of defense. There are the ones that are like, you know what? You can shut up and sit down because I'm not going there. This is how it's going to be. And you are almost in combat when you're talking about these things. It's the times when you are having an internal battle and you're like, enough is enough. We're just going to take back over. We're not playing this game anymore. We're going to go because I know this is how it's supposed to be. And your affirmations become so much more intense. Now, what the affirmation is declaring is the same in all three. You need all three different affirmations because you experience life differently each time. You experience life where sometimes you need someone who says, they're there, it's okay. And you need times where it's like, we're going to go kick butt because we're not playing this game anymore. We're going to push forward because that's what we do. And I'm not going to do this. You need both. And sometimes you need the ones that are like, you know what, we're going to be creative and all of these things are going to come to me and it's going to be awesome. You need all three kinds of affirmations. When you understand the different kinds of affirmations and what it is that you need to create, what it is that you want to be able to bring about in your life, that is going to change the way that you are interacting with your energy. So this is something that I want to workshop just a little bit because I really want to make sure that you are getting these things. So if you have affirmations and you want to play around with them a little bit, I would love to help you do that. If you are like, I don't really know how to change up my affirmation, then we can play around with them. I mean, we can play around with it. We can also pull up specific affirmations and learn how to change them up based on what you guys need. So you tell me what you want to do if you have a preference. But I want to make sure that this is a concept that we really are drilling in because it changes so many things. All right. So let's see. Ursula says she doesn't really do affirmations. Okay, so Carolyn doesn't have any affirmations either. Okay. I have a list. I'm the opposite. I have so many affirmations for like everything that I want to create. I turn so many things into an affirmation, things that aren't really meant to be affirmations. I turn everything into affirmations because I know the power of what it changes in your neurology. So I just pulled up a list. I'm trying to, let's see. I pulled up a list of my affirmations. I'm just trying to decide which one we want to do. So one of my affirmations says, never give up unless it's a step up. Okay, so that's an affirmation. This is not necessarily an I am, but it is a declaring sentence of I never give up unless it's a step up. So that's the one that we're going to take through. The beauty of this is if there's affirmations that you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Like, I think I would like to have that message repeated every morning, then you can just throw them into AI. So I took all of my I am statements and I was like, change this list of affirmations into ones that will have a softer, more compassionate tone. And it spit out my new set of affirmations. And then I was like, perfect, that's great. Now take this set of affirmations and change it to where it's going to be a little bit more on the defense. It's going to be more combative, have a little bit more attitude and authoritative, and spit those out. And now I have all of the affirmations that I love in each different kind. And so use AI to help you with these things because it makes it so much easier. When I first started doing these, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that, I had to come up with them all on my own. But let's give an example. So this one says, I never give up unless it's a step up. I'm actually going to pull up my list. Sorry, guys, I should have pulled this up before. There we go. I have a lot of affirmations. Okay. I never give up unless it's a step up. So here, this is our creative declaration, our affirmation. I never give up unless it's a step up. A mending example of the same one would be like, it's okay for us to feel like we're sliding backwards because tomorrow we're going to step up. Right now, you may feel like it was a step backwards, but we're going to keep moving forward and step up. So it's addressing where I am right now. Something has happened and I feel like I could be giving up. It feels like I'm doing this all of the time and it's just not working out the way that I thought and I'm really struggling. And so I go to my affirmations and I say, I never give up unless I step up. Well, if I'm in a state where I feel like I could very easily give up right now, that affirmation to me isn't going to change anything because it's like, here I am, I'm giving up again, especially if you have a habit of self-sabotage. You can give up before that decision to give up. Like your energy drops, and then that makes you want to be like, I'm just not going to do this anymore. And so by addressing something has happened and I feel like I've taken a step backwards, but I'm actually going to get up and keep moving forward. I'm going to step up tomorrow. I'm going to step up this afternoon. I'm going to step up later. Okay. Addressing that right now, I am okay. This, what I feel like as a setback, is okay for right now because my next move is going to be a step up. Okay. In a defending way, these affirmations could be like, there's no way in hell I'm going back there because this is where I'm going. I will not give up because I know what I'm destined for. I know what my potential is. So it's not like, oh, we're just going to take a step up. Like I am taking command of everything that I am doing and we're going to move up. And so each one is going to be powerful in different times. But if you try and use a mending of like, it's okay where we are now, this is all fine, we'll do that later. when you're in a space where you really need to be like mad about things and like worked up about it, it's going to be like, well, maybe it's just as fine. Like it's going to put you in a space where you can take a step back again. So I hope that makes sense. Let's do one more. I'm going to pull up, this is my personal list. Which one do we want? Let's do a money one. It's always a good one. Okay, so I'm going to actually put this in the chat. It's a little bit long. So this says, I am a people and money magnet because Carrie Lynn, I like money. That's awesome. So do I. Oh, let's see. All right, fix my spelling here. This is our affirmation that we're going to work through next. Maybe if it'll send it. All right. I am a people and money magnet. Good people and huge fortune are attracted to me every single day. I feel powerful and smart. Now, my affirmations are structured in this way throughout my whole document. I declare what it is that I want. I want to be attracted to people and money. In both things, I don't want one without the other. If I have money and I'm mean to people, it's not worth it to me. If I have terrible people or if I have really awesome people and no money, that's actually not good either. I want both. I want to be attracted to really, really incredible people. And I also want to bring money along with that. And so this is one of my affirmations. So I declare what it is that I want, and then I take it a step further and I define that. I want good people and not just like pennies, right? Going back to my story this morning, the penny was awesome. I don't actually want the penny, I want the $100. I don't want just $100, I want $10,000. I want huge fortunes. And every time I think that this is good, then something else is drawn to me that's even better. Okay, so I define what it is I want. Here's the statement of what I want. I define what it is, and then I say, what is it that I want to feel when that thing is in place? So I have like, I feel ease and I feel proud. I feel in control. I feel powerful. I feel gifted. Like all of these things are attached to what it is that I want to create. And so if we were to take this affirmation and put it through this filter, the first one, the creative I am, that's what I just put in the comments. I am a people and money magnet. Good people, huge fortune. They're attracted to me when? Every single day. I feel smart and powerful. Okay. In a mending sense, that would look more like, I don't have that pulled up, but that would look more like I am a people and money magnet. Even when I don't feel it, and I feel like my magnet has desensitized, I'm still in a space where I am connecting with people. It may be on a smaller level, but I'm still connecting. I may not be a magnet that's drawing people in, but I still create connections. I can still feel powerful and smart, but maybe I add in something that is, I am confident or I am at peace. What is it that, depending on what situation I just faced and why am I feeling in this lower place, then I'm going to change. Maybe I don't want to feel powerful at that time. Maybe I just want to feel okay. And so I'm going to change that up based on what it is that I need. This takes a little bit of tweaking and playing with them to figure out what is the right words that you need at that time. But having that permission to change up your words is going to change the way that you interact with the affirmation, and it's going to change the way that you feel towards them. In a more combative or more defending way, it's going to sound like, I'm trying to put it into words. I got to not think about like what my actual one says and just create something on the fly. So this is going to say like, I am a people and money magnet. What I want you to see is what I want to create actually doesn't change. It's everything below that. And that's why having affirmations that resonate with you and structuring them this way allows you to be able to tweak them to what it is that you need. Because that I'm a people and money magnet doesn't change. This is also why I'm not a big proponent of like just find affirmations online and read those. Like you want to be really thoughtful about your affirmations because they're going to mean more. So then I would say something like extremely good people come into my space. And maybe I'm going to replace the word good and maybe I'm going to say like wholesome people, or maybe I'm going to say like talented people, or maybe I'm going to say something like, what is it that I'm defending myself against? Because there are times where I get into a space where I say like, oh, like people get like people are attracted to me, and I'm one of those where people will start talking to me and start sharing a story and be like, I don't know why I'm really sharing all of this with you. And so I have to be really careful because I attract people, but I want to attract a certain kind of people. I want to attract somebody who has a generous heart, somebody who is open and accepting, and somebody who is loving and kind, and all of those things. Like, I want to attract good people. And so I'm going to change out good people and I'm going to say awesome people, or I'm going to say talented or whatever. And tone how you say them. If you listen, the defending one, I just naturally get more intense. And so when I say huge fortune, it's not like just a big fortune. It is huge fortune. Like it's going to be big and intense. And it doesn't matter what my bank account says. It doesn't matter what other people think that where I am. Like this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. And the intensity of it begins to change. And so the huge fortune, I actually put that there specifically. I used to just say like good fortune, good people and good fortune. And it was like, no, I was having to change that word good so often that it was like, you know what, we're just going to put huge. Because when I'm in that creative space, I can say huge fortune and it feels good. But then when I'm in this defending space, it's like, no, I've got huge fortune and I'm just going to change it and I'm going to be more intense. And then sometimes instead of every single day, which I just noticed I spelled wrong, instead of being like, this is happening every single day, it's every single minute. Like I am surrounded with incredible people all the time, and people who've got my back and people who are supporting me. I am powerful. And these are the kind of affirmations that we need, especially when you are in a space where mental health has been a struggle. Because that's part of my story, I'm so passionate about like making sure people don't stay in that space. Does that make sense? Having an example of like what it is and how we change it up, is that helpful? I want to make sure that this is something. Okay. I want to make sure that you're getting this. Now, let's talk about the neurological side of affirmations. So, our bodies we are made up of like 90, I always forget the percentage. It's like 93%. Our body is water. And every word that you speak to yourself carries a specific frequency to it, a specific energy. So when you get into the space of, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what is possible. I don't know. Oh, my day is so packed. I'm so overwhelmed. I just talked to a friend earlier today and she was like, my schedule is so crazy. I'm just really overwhelmed. I'm like, don't say that, because we attract that energy. We bring that in. And there have been times when I have been working with clients, I've been on sales calls where before I pick up the phone or jump on the video, I am like, oh my gosh, I just don't know what to do. And my life is terrible and blah, blah, blah. And then the camera comes on and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And it shifts everything. And as soon as it shuts off, it's like, ah. I have been in those places and your energy gets really, really confused because it doesn't know what you want. Are we happy? Are we moving? Are we good? Or are we going to be depressed and have that apathy? Like we're swinging so high on that map of consciousness that I showed you the first day that we don't actually know what we're attracting because you're so all over the place. Having affirmations like this, when we say things, especially when we can say them in a way that addresses how we're feeling in the moment, it's going to change the neurochemistry that's happening in your body. It's going to change the way that you are feeling, the way that you're interacting. And there are times where you'll say an affirmation and that RAS that we talked about, that guard that goes up, it's like, nope, kick those out. Nope, that's not true. Nope, that's not our experience. That's why having a morning routine is so, so critical. So I'll share with you. I don't read my affirmations every single day, but I read something every single day. So I have affirmations. I have a set that I read every single day, and there's like 10 of them. But then I have a set that's on personal identity, a set on time, a set on money, a set on relationships, a set on my purpose, and a set on my imagination. And so then in the morning, it's like, what do I need today? Today I'm feeling a little bit of scarcity. So I need the money section. Or maybe I'm not feeling so great about myself. And so I'll go through and read a couple. And I don't read all of them. I mean, this one I have in my personal set, I've got 22 of them. But that's not going to, I mean, if I'm not struggling with my personal identity and who I am, those things aren't going to help me. And so I go through and I just pick what stands out to me. So I have so many of them because I need different things at different times. So if you do all of the homework, you're actually going to get access to all of the affirmations that I have and how they're set up and how they're tweaked, because that's part of the Neuro Success course that is going to be unlocked for you. You actually get my whole document. You probably can't see it, but there is a whole bunch in here and it shows you exactly how to get it all set up so that you know exactly what you need to do. And there's a lot of information there and I don't do it all every day because I don't need it all every day. But I know what I'm drawn to. And sometimes I'm drawn to like, oh, I'm a little bit in this pride cycle where I'm like feeling like I'm bigger than my britches and I need to like pull me back in to keep me in alignment. Sometimes I'm going to get drawn to like, what are my values? What's the core of what it is that I'm working on? Having a morning routine that allows for this flexibility and to allow you to show up where you need to at the times that you need to has been a game changer for me. When I just had a single document that I would go through and read the same thing every single day, I got bored and I couldn't keep up with it. Having this freedom and flexibility in here, and maybe it's the entrepreneur in me that's like, don't tell me what to do, but having the freedom and flexibility to go in and say, I need something that's a little bit more focused on a relationship. I need something that's a little bit more business focused. I need something that is just filling my cup. I have all of those tools right at my fingertips, and that's what I want to be able to give to you. Okay. All right. The words that you say are so, so powerful. So I want to kind of paint a picture of how all of this works together. So this is the model that we've been looking at. This is everything that we've been talking about, the emotional side, the physical side, the spiritual side. All of these things come together to put you into state, to put you into this place where you feel like you're in flow, where you feel like things are working for you. The hard thing about this, however, is state can come and go. Sometimes you can do all of these things and it's like, oh, I'm still just not quite feeling it. And it, like, there's just something that's off that you can't really quite put your finger on it. So you're going to go back and you're going to be like, maybe it's the emotional side. Maybe I need to listen to some music. Maybe it's the physical side. Maybe I need to do my power pose. Maybe I need to like put myself physically somewhere that I can feel in alignment. Maybe you need to nurture yourself just a little bit more and take care of that more spiritual side. Maybe it's listening to an affirmation or a meditation. But when we put all of these together, it helps us get into state. Okay. When we do our morning routine, and maybe morning routines are not something that you struggle with, just like Ursula was saying, she used to be really good at it. When we get to a place where we're not struggling, there's going to be something in your life that is falling apart on the other side. Morning routine has been something that I've been on and off with. Sometimes it's really light, and other times my morning routine takes me all hour, the whole first hour that I'm awake. And that's what I mean by like, sometimes it's 5 minutes and sometimes I'm like really diving into it. When these things stop working for you, when these things, when you, maybe it's a new exercise routine, maybe it is your morning routine, maybe it's starting a business, maybe it is putting yourself out there, whatever it may be. If you're trying to put all of these things together and you're taking the steps that you need to get into state and you're just not getting there, I want you to know that it's not your fault, because there are pieces that are missing that in the 3 days that we've had, I don't have time to teach you everything. There are pieces missing to all of this, and that's why it's not working. So let me show you what those pieces are so that you have an idea of what it is that you need next. So the pieces that are missing are sometimes we just don't have the neurology set up to keep those things moving, to keep the momentum moving forward that you need. Knowing the neurology behind things and how it's working in your body and what is going on. That's something that I've tried to illustrate for you as we've talked about the emotional side and the physical side and even the spiritual side, that there is a neurological component to all of those things. And when you understand that, then we can take the blame and the pressure off of you and say, oh, okay, I understand what's going on. And I understand that there are things going on in my subconscious that are triggering these emotions, that are triggering this behavior, that I'm actually not choosing into those things because you don't have the neurology set up to be able to choose them. I often think about the story of Viktor Frankl. He's one that I have studied because his story is incredible to me. So if you don't know who Viktor Frankl is, he is one who was put into a concentration camp and he actually was able to survive that. He was a psychotherapist before the war, and so he had a lot of tools and things like that that helped him when he was in the concentration camp. But he watched people go from like, this is going to be fine, we're going to be okay, to losing hope and losing everything that they had. And he held on to this neurological side. He held on to, I know what it is that I'm doing. I know what's going on. I know where the fear is coming from. And he didn't allow it to stop him. He is a awesome example of what it means to understand that neurological side, to understand all of the things that are going on inside your body and face incredibly hard things. He is one from history that has changed the way that we think about things. When you understand the neurological side, you can also be able to create new habits, create new lifestyle changes. You can create different things in your life because you understand the neurology behind it. Okay, the other piece that's missing is creating this mastery within yourself. When you understand what's going on the neurological side, now we need to learn how to use that, how to take those things that you know and put them into practice. You know that exercise is good for you. You know that having a morning routine is helpful. You know that you've got incredible things in front of you, but we're not doing the simple little things to be able to take us there. And that comes down to, what do you need to do? What tools do you need to have in order to be able to create that mastery? And the last piece, it's on the bottom here because this is our state of becoming. This is us being able to understand that we know that we have a purpose. We know what is going on, or we know our potential and where it is that we're going, and we're on this journey, and every step along the way is helping us to become there. So there's a gap between the things that we know and the things that we're able to accomplish. And that journey of becoming is the thing that's going to help us be able to get there. All of these things play together to create that space where we're not just in state, but we're in alignment with that journey, that place, and where we're going. And when we understand that process and where it is that we're going, that's when true alignment really takes place. And you can have little things that step off, you can have little pitfalls and weave around just a little bit on that path, but you're always in alignment with the direction in which you need to go. And it's very easy to start to course correct because you see what is happening. And the awesome thing is you can see that in other people as well. You can see, like, oh, you're sabotaging yourself in this way, little course corrections here. And when you have all of these pieces, that not only you know how to get into state, but you know how to get into alignment, that's when things really start to change. So this is why I created the NeuroCoach certification program, because I want to be able to teach you how to get to that place. I want to teach you the neurology behind the behavior, what's happening inside your body, what's happening in the subconscious, to make those habitual things go on cycles, to keep you stuck in that hamster wheel going over and over and over. Teach you the neurology side. I want to teach you how to be able to create mastery in the things that you're doing. And the fun part is being able to help other people do that as well. I can walk into a room, and because I understand the neurology side, I understand the subconscious side and how to create mastery around that, being able to start a conversation with people, and within the first few minutes, knowing exactly what's going on in their subconscious and knowing what tools do they need to apply to create a change. When you understand that on not only a physical level, but also the spiritual level and emotional level, and creating foundations around all those things, now you know how to start helping people. You know how to not only level up your own life, but you're bringing people with you, that you're creating this space where everyone is rising together. And you can do that when you understand what's happening in the subconscious. When you put all of these pieces together, we're no longer taking one step at a time. Here's the emotional level, here's the physical level, here's the spiritual level, one step at a time. But putting all of this together is what creates quantum leaps. So you go from 1 to 200 to 500 to 1,000 to 4,000, and you begin leaping through that path of your becoming. This is really when we can put in all of these things together, when we understand that this is how we attract people to us, but this is how we change behavior. That's what creates this lasting change. That's what helps us to be able to create these quantum leaps, that is not only can you understand what's happening, but it's repeatable. You can do it time and time again, and your life just gets better and better. So I want to be able to help you do this. Now, I know everybody's life is different and your circumstances are unique. So I want to offer to you a chance to be able to jump on the call and just connect and see what is the path that you need to help you be able to create this journey of becoming a neuro coach and going through the certifications and all of that, is that the best thing for you to be able to create these quantum leaps in your life? Or is it something that you need something different? You need maybe just the Neuro Success course is going to be exactly what you need to create that quantum leap. But we've got to make sure that all of those pieces are put together. And when you have that in place, that's what's going to create that life that you're looking for, that life of alignment where everything is coming together. So if you go to neurocoachinstitute.com/connection, I've opened up my schedule. We can schedule a time sometime next week for us to be able to connect and figure out what is that path for you. Do you have things that are blocking you? Are you ready for something different? But this is something that I want to be able to give to you for you guys being here. All right. If you have questions, bring those with you. I want to be able to help you. The last thing that I want to give you is your homework for today. Remember, if you have all 3 days of homework done, then I'm going to unlock the Neuro Success course for you, where you can go in, and if you are struggling with fear of failure, if you're struggling with, I just can't get control of my days and I'm doing all of these other things and I'm just not connecting, or you want help with affirmations, all of those things are going to be in the Neuro Success course for you. But you have to have all 3 days of homework completed and posted inside the group in order to qualify for that course to be unlocked. You have, yes, Ursula, there are replays for day 1 and 2. I will make sure in the recap email that goes out today that you'll have links to all of those, but I've posted them on YouTube for you to have easy access to them. So I'll make sure that I get those to you, but there are replays for all of those days and you can go watch them. You have until Saturday in order to do all of the homework. So I'm going to give you a couple of days. We're going to do a celebration call and answer any questions and things like that on Saturday morning. If you are able to join us, I would love to have you there. Your homework for today, I want you to post about what are your plans for your morning routine. Are you going to do something different? When are you going to be doing them? This is a time that I want to hold you accountable to what it is that you are declaring. We've gone through and talked about the importance of them and what it does for your brain and the benefits of doing them in the morning and all of those things. This is the time for you to make that decision of what does it look like and then declare it, like we talked about on the first day. Post those things because I want to help you be able to keep moving forward. I want you to be in this space where the last 3 days isn't just great information that we've shared with you, but it's something that can help you to be able to create that change. And if you're noticing that a week down the road or 2 weeks down the road that you're falling off of them again, understand that there's a neurology piece that needs to be adjusted, that there's something where you need a little bit more of that self-mastery so that you don't fall into those habits. And those are things that we can help you with. So if that is something that you can do, you're in the Heartbeat community, reach out to me. Let me help you through these things, because this is something that I have spent years struggling with, and I don't want you to have to go through a lot of the things that I have gone through trying to learn all of this the hard way. So I look forward to hearing about your morning routines, what it is that you're doing. If you have questions, please reach out. And remember that if you feel like this is something that you want a little bit of assistance in, you want to know the neurology side, you want to know the self-mastery side, then book a call with me, because it's something that I love to be able to help you do. And whatever is going to be the best path for you is what I want for you. I'm not here to push in one way or another, but I really, truly want to help you create the life that is ahead of you to be able to step into that potential. So I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day. I look forward to looking at all of your homework, and then I will send out an email about the celebration call that we are doing on Saturday, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.